So let's talk about 50 years of trying to tell you that want is not enough, that you have to let the evidence decide what is or is not true. And the consequence of that is that you have been greedy and selfish for 50 years. And just considered want is all that there is. And of course, I understand that. You want a new car, you want a new house, you want this, that, and 10,000 other things. But the end result of it is that you are believers. And of course, belief is not enough either. Because belief is just a want. That's all it is. It's, I want to believe this. And so you shut the door to the evidence. And you refuse to believe whatever is true because you have made a decision that whatever it is you believe is enough. And this is where you stay, and that's what you do. So I'm going to suggest to you that is a little laptop computer, and although it's probably taken a billion hours of human history, a billion hours of actual people working, trying to solve the problems of how to build a computer, that's just an accident. Is it just an accident? Do you believe that? Well, if the university probably told you, I'm sure you would. But of course, the university will not tell you that because that is their greatest invention of all time. But and it's certainly not an accident. But the human body, this body, for instance, is not an accident either, and yet you believe that. You actually believe that evolution is true. You actually believe that. I have no idea why, other than the fact that you want to be led by the universities. Because you believe somehow they are your God, and somehow they are smarter than you, and somehow they can lead you to all the happiness that you could possibly imagine, and take care of you throughout your life, as healthcare supposedly does. But the end result of it is, of course, that they don't. They aren't God. They're never going to be God. This body, according to them, is composed of about 37 trillion or 13 trillion different cells. Could you put together 13 trillion cells? No, you can't. Could you put together the organs and the touch and the brain and the heart and everything that the human body needs all at once? You can't build it one piece at a time. It has to be built all at once. Can you create an infant, a fetus? Can you create a womb? Can you create any part or anything about a human being, including blood? And the answer, of course, is no. Your best university graduates cannot do that, and of course they are just your former classmates. And as I recall, not one of them was God, or God material, or any of that other stuff. You know, that we're just human beings, all of us, and that includes the university, that includes the doctors and leaders and so on. You believe them because you want to believe them, because you don't want to be wrong. And of course, life will teach you that you can be wrong. So then if you're going to be wrong, you want to have somebody make a decision for you so that you can be right. And that, of course, leads to all kinds of problems, because then those people believe they have power and superior and all of that, which of course the university does. They believe they are the new nobility, the people who own the right to make every decision for you, for us, for our world. They say that they can build a better heart. Give us your money. But a heart beats about 3 billion times for the average lifetime, with almost no functional problems for the vast majority. Until you get to be old age, and if old age it causes you to die, and then they say you had died of a heart attack, and so that's where, of course, all their numbers come from. because nobody dies of old age. So then they can afford to say, well, it's a heart attack, you know. That's what it is. That's what it caused. But it was old age. You just wore out. Or, for that matter, you know, your body lives on a structure of bones. 205 bones in the adult, so they say, that were individually made in the womb, individually transported in the womb, grew up outside the womb as individual pieces that elongated and strengthened themselves and lubricated themselves and tied themselves together. And all the parts and pieces of a human body, the organs and all the skin and everything else is hung on that, is attached to that, is created by that to form the basis of what you are as a human being of life. And of course, you believe that that's an accident. They sucked out your brain, I guess. Because it is not an accident. It doesn't begin to conceive of as an accident. There is absolutely no proof of an accident. Their foundation of proof or evidence in evolution is this looks like that. So what? So what? This looks like that. Tire on your automobile looks about like the tire on the other automobile, does it not? And so on. So who in the hell cares? But the end result is that we are standing on the edge of extinction. Humans are killing this world. We are so many that the world cannot heal itself. We are 8.2 billion people, more or less, probably a lot more. Because, you know, the people we depend upon for the evidence all lie. They lie about stealing, they lie about betrayal, they lie about everything. Because that's what the university teaches them to do. And media, of course, is just the priests that stand up in front of the crowd and say, believe in the university. The university is God. The university is the expert. The university has to decide. As do the courts and the government officials and religion and all the rest. They all say the university is God. But the university is just former classmates of yours. And they have no more idea what they're doing than you do. In 99.9% of all situations. Instead, they create fantasies and imagination and delusions and things like that to convince you to pay attention to them. They manipulate you and tempt you to believe, and they have, you know, programs to have little groups to make sure they say the right things so that you believe what they want you to believe, as is advertising. And of course humanity says, well, they don't affect me, but of course, you know, billions of dollars are spent every year for advertising. And they don't spend it because you don't believe, they spend it because you do believe, whatever they say. So, you know, we're here talking for a final time, possibly, at least, for me at least. You know, I'm 71 years old, but the end result of it is that we are killing this world. Fossil fuel consumption, the end result is heat. The end result of that is greenhouse gases. The end result of that is a planet that is becoming too warm for human life to survive. 1 degree too hot and you die. That's just the facts. 1 degree too hot and you die. 1 degree too hot and plants die. 1 degree too hot and insects die, and so on. That's just how it is. And of course, in the real world, the atmosphere of this planet is attached. It turns with the planet itself. But that means that it can not turn with the planet itself. And Venus, they say, for instance, has winds at about 700 miles per hour because the atmosphere does not turn with the planet itself. And of course, what keeps us, the atmosphere, in line with the planet are trees. You picked up enough leaves in the fall, maybe, so that you know there's a lot of weight there. Fluttering in the wind causes a lot of resistance there. There are, there used to be so many trees that, there was not an issue to that. But of course, humanity has cut them all down. Humanity has, racked and ravaged and raged and ruined everything about this planet that is possible for them to do. And if they don't stop, if you don't stop, you will go past the point where this world can rebuild itself at all. We are standing on the edge of ocean life dying, becoming extinct. Because of all your poison and pollution and overfishing and everything else, fertilizers, all of it. We're completely dependent upon fertilizers for the food supply that is grown. And of course, the fertilizers themselves are going to be extinguished. They're going to fail because it's a resource. It's a finite planet. It's a finite resource, and we are so many that we take everything and put nothing back. We don't provide for the future at all. Not at all. You take everything in greed and destroy your own child. And of course that's not fair, but you don't care. You don't care. Because you want more, and you want to be the winner, and you want to prove, look at me, and so on. And I cannot avoid that. That's you. And that's what you want. And unless you change, the world itself will die. We have a population increase of about 100 million more mouths to feed each year over deaths. That alone causes our extinction. You have weapons of mass destruction that are so violent and so vile that the earth will go extinct if you use them. And people are frothing at the bit to use them. Just ask Putin. He's ready. And so are so many others. You just don't know it. And so we have a world that's ready to kill itself. We have universities that have every biological agent, every poison, everything that could possibly kill a life on Earth is in their laboratories. And they have machines, factory automated machines, that can mutilate life. Saying we're going to be gods and we're going to create Spider-Men and we're going to create flies and men and fish and men and whatever it is that damn well think they're going to do. And of course, all they can actually do is create Armageddon, which is nature in chaos, and that is by their form of religion, which is evolution. Chaos built life. Chaos does never build life. That's just utterly vile and stupid and beyond imagination. It is a curse of human disintegration. Life isn't worth anything, so we can kill it. So, I've talked to you for just about 50 years, more or less, time and time again, a few here and a few there and a few more and a few more and a few more. Because there's a limit to what I can do, but there's a limit to how many people I can affect at all, because you don't listen. You want what you want, and that's all that you want, and you don't want anything you don't want. And I understand that. On the other hand, life does not understand that, because life requires truth, and truth doesn't allow for once. Truth allows that only truth survives. And if you lie and you lie and you lie, like the university leadership has done, as is so evident in just your currency, in this USA, or for the world, just the credit derivative market for the world is well over $1 quadrillion. Well over $1 quadrillion, and that's just the debts that people want to sell. You have no basis in actual reality of any kind. Your securities are foolish and blind. You have nothing. They ruined it all. And you let them, because they gave you bribes. It's as simple as that. They gave you bribes, and they were able to give you bribes by ransacking the future, by destroying the children's lives, by destroying the earth. That's how you got more and more and more. And you didn't care. You absolutely did not care. You didn't want to know that that the cost of this is going to be extinction. That the cost of this is you murdered your own child. That the cost of this is a world that's going to die. And so if you come out of your, your